Prophet Muhammad, 570 to 632, founder of Islam. Whilst in seclusion in a mountain cave, Muhammad said receiving a collection of revelations from God. These revelations structure the verses of the Qu'ran, considered by way of Muslims as the Word of God, and round which the Islamic faith is based. Muhammad used to be a massive religious, political and navy chief who helped to unite Arabia beneath the new faith of Islam. Early life. Muhammad was once born in 570 CE in the Arabian town of Mecca. Orphaned from an early age, he used to be added up with the aid of his uncle, Abu Talib. He labored as a service provider and shepherd, and did now not acquire any formal education. Muhammad had non-secular inclinations and would spend time going to caves round Mount Hira to spend time in silence, prayer and retreat. He used to be additionally acknowledged for his generosity, devoutness and ability in arbitrating disputes. Cave_Hira. Cave of Hira, area of Muhammad's first revelation. In the year 610, at the age of 40, Muhammad was once project a shrink back of prayer and meditation in the desert. During his prayer, he started out listening to a luminous voice who commanded him to write down the phrase of God. At first, Muhammad was once very unsure about his experience, however after sharing with his first spouse Khadija and her cousin, he received self-belief that it was once a divine voice, which he later printed to be Angel Gabriel. For pretty a few years, Muhammad solely shared these recitations with his companions who later served as scribes, writing down the revelations. He used to be conscious that preaching a new monotheistic spiritual educating might also incur the wrath of the current authorities. An essential function of the teachings of the Quran used to be that there used to be solely one God, and the critical factor of lifestyles used to be to publish to his will. Dome of the Rock. One Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, the place Muhammad is believed to have ascended to heaven in the beginning. He attracted a small range of followers, who had been deeply moved by using the teachings Muhammad imparted. This gave him the self-belief to communicate to different human beings in Mecca. However, the followers of Muhammad had been seen with hostility. With the aid of different Meccan tribes who normally believed in a pantheistic worldview, although there had been small numbers of Christians and Jews. In 619, each his spouse Khadija and uncle, effective guardian Abu Talib, died. In this time of private difficulty, he had an vital religious experience, the place he felt his spirit transported to Jerusalem and then to heaven, the place he noticed himself with different prophets such as Moses and Jesus amidst the divine throne of God. In 622, due to the fact of ongoing hostility, Muhammad with some of his followers migrated to the metropolis of Yathrib, now regarded as Medina. This migration is recognized as the Hijra and marks the commencing of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad succeeded in uniting a range of tribes. He used his talent as an arbiter to clean over tensions, and an increasing number of he was once seen as an adept and inspirational chief, combining energy and army ability with a compassionate and religious nature. At the Battle of Badr, simply 313 Muslims underneath Muhammad's management defeated a pressure of 1,000 Meccans. After this victory, Muhammad negotiated a peace treaty with the Meccan tribes. dark_vignette_al-masjid_al-nabawi_door 800x600x300 in 629, Muhammad carried out the pilgrimage Hajj to Mecca. This non-secular ride grew to be a pillar of Islam. But 12 months later in 630, Meccan forces broke the fragile truce between the two peoples, so Muhammad led a military of 10,000 to the metropolis of Mecca, the place he was once in a position to decisively defeat the Meccan tribes. This army victory led to the institution of Islam as the dominant faith of the area. Muhammad declared that the significant diffusion of Islam in the place had enabled the end of ignorance. After the battle, the historical polytheistic idols and snapshots had been destroyed. Muhammad's teachings forbade the introduction of new idols, and even the photo of Muhammad is now not allowed below Islam. Muhammad taught that idols and pictures ought to create arrogance and ego and take human beings away from God. During the rest of his life, he used to be capable to unite most of Arabia below the new faith of Islam. In 632, he gave his remaining sermon to 20,000 humans, displaying the extent of his have an effect on and popularity. He died later in the 12 months after struggling from a fever that lasted various days. His final phrases were, "O Allah, to our Rafiq Allah, exalted friend, easiest friend or the uppermost, best friend. In heaven, after his death, he was once succeeded via his better half's father and shut associate, Abu Bakr. For the subsequent 100 years, Islam unfolded unexpectedly, turning into the dominant, non-secular and political pressure of the Middle East. By 750, Muslim have an impact on stretched from India to Spain and used to be strongly mounted as a foremost world religion. The Qu'ran manuscript, early Quran manuscript from his first experiences in the cave, Muhammad pronounced receiving messages from God for the duration of his life. These messages structure the Quran, which to Muslims is the phrase of God. Muslims accept as true with Muhammad to be the ultimate prophet in a culture stretching lower back to Moses, Abraham and Jesus. As properly as the Quran, Muslims learn about the sirah, Muhammad's life, and traditions of the time, Sharia law. The quintessential message of the Quran is that there is no God, however, Allah, and followers ought to lead their lives in submission to the will of Allah as described in the Quran. Muhammad additionally believed faith used to be no longer simply a non-public count of moral sense, however something that affected the entire society. He instigated social reforms, which protected the higher remedy of all training of humans and the discount of aristocratic privileges. The Quran citing an alms tax, zakat, which sought to decrease inequality in society. Muhammad insisted that new tribes who wished to ally with himself must follow this tax. For his time, Muhammad instigating modern reforms. He condemned some customs such as woman infanticide and a moderate privilege. He more suitable the rights of slaves, although did now not abolish it completely. Jihad. Muhammad taught the idea of jihad. First and most important, jihad is the interior battle towards man's weaknesses such as lust, envy and hatred, and the war to turn out to be a higher religious person. Jihad may want to additionally contain the outer struggle in opposition to enemies who wished to forestall the religious from practicing their faith. A sturdy man or woman is no longer the character who throws his adversaries to the ground. A sturdy individual is the individual who includes himself when he is angry. Sunni Hadith. The title, Muhammad potential, praiseworthy. Muslims. He used to be, now not a divine figure, however used to be shut to a best man. Legacy in the listing of 100 most influential humans in the world. Michael Hast selected Muhammad to be Variety 1, arguing that Muhammad used to be influential in each the non-secular and secular world. Muhammad modified the root of records by way of developing a robust monotheistic faith amongst the Arab world and unifying the disparate tribes. The teachings of the Quran act as a foremost effect on Islamic society. Like all religions, the teachings of Muhammad have regularly been misinterpreted and used in the justification of fanaticism. In specific, the thinking of jihad is open to unique interpretations.